Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. How are you all? As you can see, I'm on the new camera. I thought, you know what, I'll dig it out and have a wee blast. Well, I say dig it out. This is actually the second one I've had to buy because Curry's at PC World fucked me over big time. 500 quid down the drain. They wouldn't refund me it back. Literally got the package, it was fine. Camera's missing. Charger and that was there, but the camera was missing. I was raging. Can I get the money back? I was like, how can this actually happen, like this day and age, you know what I mean? So PayPal says no, they're refusing it and they're not giving it back. So I had to go out onto Facebook Marketplace and buy this one, which was only 320 quid. So I'm pretty happy, it looks pretty brand new. So we'll give it a test anyway in this video. Right guys, so you would have seen from the last video that we managed to get this up and running. It was just briefly with the ECU and everything all hanging out here. So what I'm going to do in this video, we need to sort some bits and bobs. Basically the fuel rail was leaking, like the fuel injectors were like pushed down and they were all pissing out there. Also my fuel pressure regulator, it must be like too restrictive on the return because it's over pressurizing. It's like 5 bar of fuel pressure, which is no use. Also what I'll do is I'll stick in the these are the pressure transducers. This is for oil pressure and there's also another one up there for fuel pressure. And so we'll stick them in as well, and down there I'll fit a boost control solenoid. And then when that's all fitted, I'll be able to put it through into that hole down there. Look at that. Nice one. This camera is really showing everything I'm planning on doing, so buzzing. Right, so first things I've done, I've taken the rail off, and you see there's a point here and a point here. I need to take these off. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut these pillars down. Probably a near 10 millimeters actually, because what's happening is the injectors actually be able to move up and down about 10 mil. So if I take that off, take 10 mil off that, it'll actually hold the injector down 10 mil, and it won't actually, when it pressurizes, it's basically pushing its injector back out again. So to get these out, basically put two M8 bolts, one on top of the other, tighten up, and better turn that down actually. Don't want to be Mr. Copyrighted again. You can't like folk get a bit sensitive when you start playing their beats. Right. So tighten this right up. Hope it doesn't slip off and burst my hands in bits. And then just, they're locked up together. There you go, you can see it starting to come out. And this is how you generally get studs out of like manifolds and stuff as well. So there you go, so you've got your M8 there. Some people actually just use bolts instead. I might just use bolts, we'll see. Right guys, so we've got the rail back on again. I shaved a little bit down there and packed it with a wee washer just to make sure these are all nice and snug, so they're now not going to leak. This is the eBay fuel pressure regulator. You've maybe recognised these things before. And I'm just going to take this thing apart because, oh shit, because it seems to be like when you put the fuel pressure on, it can't go any lower than 5 bar. I'm thinking that hole is far too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bore that hole out a wee bit, and that should help regulate the fuel pressure a little bit better. There we go, so I've bored that out 6 mil, and the ball bearing there sits inside it all fine. So I'm going to reassemble it now, stick it in the car, and then we're going to work on some of the wiring actually for you know, the actual main car loom itself, and see if we can get this thing turning off the key. And there's the reg all back together again. We need to actually put the ECU in and wire up the pressure sensors before we can actually figure out to see what fuel pressure it's at now. However, it sounds less, like the pump is labouring less, so it actually is a good sign. So yeah, we'll get this all plumbed into the ECU and then we'll be able to tell if the pressure has dropped or not. So that's the first one done anyway. You can see with the braid in there, into the fuel pressure sensor. So that one's running in the car now, which will go into the K-Pro, and now I'm just working on the next stain, which will come off of here. So now all the wiring is done for the oil pressure sender, etc., and the fuel pressure sender, and the cabling all runs through into the car now. And you'll see in the inside we've got the ECU and all the wiring on the inside there, and Greg's just working on the original wiring. I'm about to tackle this mess now, so I'm going to take all the stock wiring and all this sort of stuff here for the fans and stuff I'm going to cut out. Don't need any of that, and also don't need any of the fuel pump stuff either. We've managed to sort of get the wiring where needed. We have to go for one more cable that Carnegie Styles making there, and that'll go from here onto the standard post, and then from there on onwards, that means we'll have power up to here, so we'll be able to switch on ignition, and you know, we'll have everything, and hopefully that'll give us a start. Okay, so we're pretty much done for the night. We're about to test to make sure the wiring actually works inside the car, and again, we're still having fuel pressure issues. It seems to be just like it won't go below 50 psi, so there's obviously a problem with the fuel pressure regulator. It's not flowing enough back to the tank. It's good sized fittings, you know, it's like 10mm inside diameter hose return, so the return's not the problem there. So what we've got to do now is the fuel pump at the back. You've got a separate battery there just now. I've not sorted out the wiring for that yet. It's taken us a bit longer to do things just because the nature of the beast in it has been a bit of a cunt, to be honest, this car. So we're going to go and frig at the battery and then try it with the key, see if it starts. But if it does start, I'm switching it straight off because, yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning. And my missus is going to go raging, so is my neighbours. So yeah, let's get this fuel pump frigged out. A bit of balance just on the back end here. Sits in there. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Off the key. And off with the key again. Look at that. So we're getting somewhere. That is a crack. Off the key. So yeah, what I need to do now is I'm going to get a smaller race battery. We'll get all that sort of tidied up, all that mess with wiring. Inside here is no joke either. I mean, look at the state of this. I am using fuses in this one though, which is better than what I normally do. It's better effort. But yeah, I will need to do that, and I'm going to put some sort of security in as well with regards to starting the car.